Your cost catalog is essentially your library of costs that you might use for any of your jobs. This could be your labor costs, your material costs, you could have your permitting fees or maybe your rental expenses in your catalog, and it could be hundreds or even thousands of items saved in your catalog. Now at this point, you can have full lists of your items, and you can customize these views as well and create several saved views for yourself to organize your items in this list. By clicking on this gear icon, you can choose the columns in which you're viewing in this table, the way that you're sorting your items, as well as you can add filters on these items to filter in or filter out any of your items from that view. When you need to, just save as, and then you can save that view as a personal view and then choose to share it with your organization. Now, if we need to create a new cost item in our catalog, we can click plus cost item and then enter in the cost item details. So the name is just a basic overall name for that item. So I will call this a remodel permit, and then maybe City of Richardson. Great. And then I can even add a description if I need to. And then any details that I add here will be saved in my catalog and can carry over to my job budgets. And at that point, I can edit any of those items and override what is listed. So we're going to choose a cost code for the permit, and let's just say this is planning. And then the type of permit, this is kind of going to be other. It's not really labor or materials. And then we can also add in a quantity. So if we know for all of our jobs we just have one permit, I'm going to put the quantity of 1. And then I can even add a unit of measurement, so each. And then at this point, I can add in a unit cost and save that cost in my catalog. The cost is the cost that you're incurring as the contractor for this item. So how much are you going to be paying the city for this permit? Maybe we know for the City of Richardson, the permits are always going to be costing $425. And then the price is how much you're charging the customer for this item based on your default profit margin. Now the profit margin listed here is depending on the type that I'm choosing. So my type of other has a 30% profit margin, but your other types may have a different default margin that it will go to. Now this has an automatic calculator in it, so if you tend to use markup instead of margin, don't worry, you can always change these and it will automatically calculate the other. Now you do have the option to mark that item as taxable or not, and then you have some selection options. Further down, you even have some custom fields for your cost item. So if you wanted to collect the SKU number, maybe the preferred vendor for that item, you can do so. Some of my custom fields are actually not used until I bring that item over into a job budget, and then I can track additional information for that cost item throughout that particular job. Down at the bottom, you can actually upload any files, photos, and videos to your cost item, and those can be carried directly over into your job documents and shown to your customers or your vendors if you'd like. Let's go ahead and just create this item. And now it's going to be landed in our cost catalog. Another benefit of your cost catalog is the ability to group your cost items into what are called cost groups. Now these could be small assembly groups or they could be larger budget templates. So let's head over into the cost groups section. And this is where I will save all of my cost groups or budget templates. If I need to create a new cost group, I'll just click plus cost group, and this is where I can start to build out that group. Now I can add a template name for this, and this is going to be an internal template name. It will not show up on your budget or on your documents. It simply is to help you organize all of your cost groups. So in this case, I'm going to call this a Richardson remodel project. Great. I can also add in a description. This will be for kitchen remodels. And again, those are internal notes. Now I'll click the Save button and I can create my new template. So when you're first creating a cost group template, it's important to add either a group header first or add in another smaller cost group. So the first thing to do is to just click plus group. This is where I can select other groups from my budget to add into this larger group, or I can just create a new group header. So we'll go ahead and create a new one. pre-construction, create new cost group, and now you'll see there's nothing in that group, so I can go ahead and add in items when I'm ready. So I'll click on these 3 dots here to add a cost item directly into that group. And now I can choose that permit that I just created. Here it is. I'm selecting it from all my cost item list. And now I'll go ahead and select a few other items from my cost item list. So let's add in a new cost item. And I am going to add maybe walkthrough and measurements here. And then I'll add another cost item, and in this case we're going to do a design fee. Great. Now at any point you can rearrange these items just by clicking and dragging them around. Everything's green right now, meaning that I need to save my changes. And now you see that I have a cost group saved in my catalog with a header and some items in it. Now, if I wanted to add additional groups within this template, I can do so. So we'll just click plus group, and I'm going to select another smaller group that I've created, almost an assembly group. So let's just go ahead and do that. Here's a demolition one. Now you'll see that it brought over all of the items within that group, and then we'll just do plumbing, and same thing with framing. We have a few more here. Electrical, and then we'll add in a finishing group. Fantastic. They're all right here, and we will hit save. Now you can use your collapse and expand tools to collapse and expand all of your groups at once. And your groups in here could be up to 5 layers deep, so you could have subgroups within parent groups as well. Now, if you'd like to edit any of your cost items from this screen, you can click on the cost item. But if I edit any details here, it's going to update that cost item throughout my entire catalog. Now, this cost item could be used in several other budget templates or cost groups that I've already saved. So if I update this one cost item here, it will update throughout my catalog. The only difference there is that you can add a quantity for your cost items for this one particular group. So if I just wanted to go ahead and add in my lump sum quantities here, maybe I always know that for my kitchen remodels I'm going to need 2 dumpsters. You can add in numbers here just so that those carry over into your budget if you need to. So now that we've created a new cost group or budget template, let's go ahead and add this into a new job. So I've saved that. We'll go into jobs and we'll just create a new job real quick. All right, create the job, and then we'll go into a new budget. Here now I can choose to add a group from my catalog, and I'm going to enter in that Richardson one, Richardson Remodel Project. I'll select that. And you'll see that it carries in all of the group headers as well as the cost items in those groups and all of their details that were saved in the catalog. Now, if I wanted to also add a one-off item to this budget from my catalog, I can just click plus item and then choose an item from the list. Great. Now at this point, I can make all the changes I need to my items, my descriptions, or any of my item details, and it will not automatically impact my catalog. Now, one other tip that I want to show you is, let's say that you built out a great budget in one of your jobs and you want to save it back to the catalog. What you can do is click the export button and export directly to your catalog. This will create a new budget template or cost group in your catalog that you then can use for future jobs. Another option would be to just select a certain number of items and then save those back to your catalog as well. If you have any questions about your cost catalog, please contact your customer success manager, or you can email support@jobtread.com and they will be sure to help you out.